up, everybody? Here for a super special episode of the Archive. We got our boy William. And see, William took our beautiful pictures that you see on the website.
As you will see here.
As you will see here. So yeah, William was super cool to us and took us under his wing because I think most of us probably hadn't. I know you'd done photography and stuff, but we really didn't know what to do, and so he just guided us through.
It looked beautiful.
Yeah, just put on some makeup and not really.
No, William's probably one of the best photographers I've ever seen. Of course, we're gonna have, probably just a bunch of his photos on the screen throughout. And his link will be in the description below.
Licensing.
But he is a full-time photographer. Tell us what it's like a day in the life of a freelance photographer.
I play video games until somebody calls me, and then I go take pictures, and then I come back and I play more video games.
Nice.
And occasionally hang out with y'all.
That's the life.
So how did you get started on freelance? Was it just...
I got fired.
Okay.
I got laid off from the newspaper industry.
Okay.
And I decided to give it about a year to try and do freelance before just bagging just any job.
Yeah, and it just worked out.
It worked out. I started freelancing. It was the year of the oil spill.
Okay.
The BP oil spill. So I ended up getting a lot of freelance for that because I was an available photojournalist, and a lot of national publications were wanting a lot of pictures from it. So that kind of was really good. It kind of kicked it off, and then it just kept rolling from there.
That's cool. What did you start off doing? Mainly pictures of.
When I started freelancing, or just in general,
Just
when I
in
started
general,
my career. I started off as a photojournalist. I went to an art school and got a degree in commercial photography, and then I just really just got a job at a local paper and just started doing that for a long time. And then I got laid off, and then I went back to what my schooling was for, which was commercial photography, which I should have just done that anyway, to start off with. It probably would have worked out better, but I ended up there, so it was pretty cool.
Cool, man.
Nowadays, it'd be a waste of money to go to school for photography. You can just...
Yeah.
With the internet, you can learn everything.
Yeah.
Everything
I was gonna say that.
Tutorials and just practice, and digital photography makes it so easy.
Anything. It seems like kind of anything in tech or design field, you really can just learn from YouTube and tutorials.
Lots of Googling.
I think any creative field, all your clients want to see is they don't care where you went to school. They just want to see what you do,
right.
what you've done.
Yeah.
And that's really all you need.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that getting a job is easier if you have an accolade?
I don't know. In the creative fields, it might help when if you're going against somebody with the same skill or creative level or the same kind of maybe it'll nudge you, especially maybe if you're an alumnus with person you're trying to get hired by. That might help, but overall, honestly, I think in almost any creative field, musicians, there are schools where you can go, but if you were getting signed or something, nobody would care if you went to Juilliard or something like that.
For sure.
So I think it's just one of the rare professions where schooling it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, any kind of education helps, but with creative fields, you can do so much online and through tutorials and just find mentors and stuff like that. I think creatives are always really cool on mentoring other creatives.
Yeah, very true. In certain levels, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a big community aspect too with creatives. We want to help each other out. Even if it's not the same field. We're big on community and.
Well, I think it's because for creatives, like you're kind of always going against the grain.
Yeah.
You know, and so you band together because you're like, oh, you're trying to do this crazy thing that everybody else is trying to do too. Like, let's work together.
And it's really cool when you get everybody's skill sets involved and like kind of come up with like an overall like project.
It all tends to cross over too, like all the creative aspects, like music. You know, you'll get photographers to, you know, promotions and graphic artists. They'll all end up working together on projects. It seems like there is a good sense of camaraderie and community. I know you wouldn't think it, but I know so many. I'm like really good friends with so many photographers that are my active, you know, quote unquote competition. Like we all get along, we all hang out, we all talk. We all give each other work. If I can't do something, I'll recommend one of them, and vice versa.
That's cool.
It's pretty neat. You know, there's not a lot of there's a good sense of competition. You know, that they'll push you to do better, or you'll see what they're doing. It's like, ooh, I need to try that. But there's no like toxic competition between them. Which is, you know, surprising.
I wish I could say the same about the music scene. I feel like there is a lot.
I think at like certain levels though, like I said, like we talked about before, I think it's just kind of like when you're first starting out, you feel like you kind of have to claw at people and get past that. But once you get to like where like you're moderately have a little bit of success, I feel like there's a lot of camaraderie.
True.
You know,
and it seems like other musicians try and pull other ones up.
Yeah, like once you hit that level, I think like starting off, like it, you feel, and I think it's just because there's so many people at like trying to start off in music. But once you kind of get past like a little level, then like you just try to help each other out because, like I said, you're all on the same team in a sense. Like you're all trying to do this thing that everybody told you not to do when you were a kid. So
yeah, they all kind of have that in common.
Yeah. Talk about the Archeons photo shoot.
Oh, that was fun.
It was fun.
It was the first time meeting you guys.
Yeah.
So I guess Chris talked me into coming up here, and
he did.
I usually come up here and hang out with them anyway. But going under we passed it again.
Yeah, we went by the bridge.
Went the wrong way.
The bridge,
the bridge shoot. That was pretty cool. Did some paint with light. I guess you're gonna pop up some photos so people can see. But did some painting with light shoots, which is always fun. And always there's a level of chaos with that because
is there a lot that can go wrong?
It's done well. It's all done in camera, so it's a lot of special effects, but they're done in camera. So you have to do a lot of shots. If you remember, like we just. And you got to do like 20 shots to get one. And for anyone listening or watching, it's basically we're in the complete dark, and we've got some photographic strobe set up, and or was that a little handheld? I think it was a little handheld. So I'm doing a little handheld light on them, and then after that exposure's done, we were what were we using? Ketzel's hoop. We had an LED hula hoop, and we're basically
running in the background with it.
We had a long exposure going, and we had her running, doing some shapes around you guys in the background with the hoop, and it turns out pretty cool. I've done that with fire before. I'd love to do a fire shoot with you guys. That would be pretty awesome.
That'd be the next one.
Maybe some purple Archeons fire, but you kind of gotta do a lot of attempts to get it right in camera. You can fix some little tweaks in post production, but you kind of want to have the majority of it in camera, it's always kind of neat. Getting something that looks that cool, that looks like it would be post production, but it's all, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Practical.
Like those pictures do look like it's like, you know, After Effects or
Photoshop.
Yeah, Photoshop or something like that. And then it was all done just when we were sitting there. And I just remember, having to sit still for like 10 seconds, like don't move.
It was longer than that.
But it's really cool for me to, and I imagine maybe for you guys to see something in camera that you would expect to, you know, have to pull through in Photoshop, like on the site.
Nuts. Yeah,
that's pretty
very
neat.
true.
But yeah, those night painting with light shoots are a lot of fun. Me and a buddy of mine on the coast, for a while we were just going out like almost every other night and doing them. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good time, and I just remember getting those pictures back and just being blown away. I was like, wow, we really don't know how to take pictures. Because there was like 100 unusable pictures.
Yeah.
Mainly because of Tim.
Oh yeah, I sent y'all like the raw shots.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, Tim kept smiling.
I forgot about that.
Oh man, just
But y'all did good. I mean, it's got to be weird. You know, you're not models.
No,
this is not
it
what
is
you
weird.
do. But
not yet.
you've got to be in the camera.
Next one will go better.
Yeah, we got some good shots.
Yeah. The usable ones were great.
Some
Because
good.
we did it out at the barn too. The little by that abandoned house where we shot the music video.
Yeah, I saw that. Like basically, all those locations.
All the
like,
same
hey,
spots. We just recycle.
We did, yeah, true.
it works.
We have like
Do
3
it.
spots in Nashville that we just go to. These will work for everything.
I wonder. I wonder if that's like a lot of local bands do that.
I don't
There's
know.
probably like 15
Yeah.
music videos out there with that
Yeah,
same location.
Same spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
True.
could start selling stock footage of that location.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, it was a good time. And just getting the pictures back, and I don't know. It's not like I wasn't expecting much, but I got a lot more than what I thought. You know, because Huff was just like, "Yeah, we know this photographer. You know, he's gonna come
That's
down."
never a good.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
I know a
you
guy.
know,
It was a friend
yeah.
of mine.
I was
He's got a camera.
I was trying to talk you up, like, no, he's really good. And I,
Yeah.
like,
But we had just met you at the time
Yeah.
too. Like we only known you for.
I was only in the band for like a month.
Yeah.
But that's the same with like whenever you have a friend who's got a band. It's like I got a band. It's like, okay. all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
like, honestly, I expected you guys to suck when Chris told me
Yeah,
he had a
yeah.
band. I'm like, all right, I'll listen to it. I'm like, oh wait,
It does suck.
This is-
wow.
these guys are pretty good.
Yeah. No, for sure. And that's why I always hate people who are like, what do you do or something? I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I play music. Like,
Because
oh, like everybody.
99,
Yeah.
percent of the time it's gonna be horrible.
Yeah, garbage.
Man.
So,
I remember there's this thing for a while with me and William. Like, I would tell him, like, oh, I got this new band started up. I would like some pictures soon. And then, like, the band would just break up or fall apart. And this happened
Yeah.
for, like, what, 2 or 3 years?
I don't know, I call it a curse. It's like almost every band that's ever approached me about doing a band shoot, something about it falls apart. The band breaks up, or goes through changes consistently, or like they haven't worked and they don't have any money for a shoot, or just something. But breaking up seems to be the typical. So as soon as someone asks me to do their photo shoot, I'm like, oh. And then Andrew asked me,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, Andrew, and then
His band broke out, yeah.
nice.
So like, yeah, I was kind of expecting that, but here we
So
are.
far, so good.
Yeah.
That was like a year and
Yeah.
a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess not me, because I guess that's kind of par for the course with bands, you know.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of breakups and iterations.
Yeah.
And
I think
It's
music's
just hard to find a group of people, like, that you vibe with and mesh with. Like,
Yeah, for sure. 5 people that.
you can get in one room all together at one
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Work around everybody's
Yeah.
schedules.
And then you get that, like, the lead singer syndrome.
Yeah.
You got to deal with those.
It's a LSD, lead singer's disease.
Luckily, Huff's not too douchey.
No, I'm pretty
So-
humble.
I'm really humble, guys. I promise.
Humble brag.
Most humble guy I know.
I'm super humble.
I think I suck, but that's besides.
That's a great attitude to have.
I would agree.
Yeah, thanks.
You won't get better unless you think you suck on something.
That's very
I
true.
think.
You can never think you're good because then you'll just stop trying to
Get
get
that
better.
imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
It's pretty common with
Oh, dude.
creatives, I think.
Yeah.
I have that with coding super bad.
I think that, I have that with everything that we do.
Yeah.
Like, literally
Do
everything
I
we
really
do.
know what the fuck I'm doing?
Yeah,
or?
no. Just lots of
But
Google.
really, nobody does. So
Yeah.
But so I have a question. We can kind of like turn this into like an AI conversation. With photography, there's so many like plug and play, apps and everything nowadays. Do you think that's oversaturated your field, or like, because for instance, with coding and like there's Wix and things now, and like pretty much anybody can make a website, or pretty much anybody can do photo editing, like.
it's definitely made like it's brought about a ton of competition because there's so many user-friendly tools that are easy to use. People can do, you can do some great photography just on your own.
Yeah.
You don't have to hire somebody. So it's eliminated a lot of jobs, but it's also at the same time created competition. There's more. Before digital photography, when it was just film, you you just had to hire a professional photographer because, like, for example, if I shot a wedding, I had to know every time I did a shot, like, I know this is going to be on film. You know, I know my exposure settings are correct. I know this is going to turn out all right. You know, it's still a little bit of a anxiety moment until you got it developed. But with digital photography, if you screw up, you know right away.
Yeah.
With film, you could have, you know, if you had your settings wrong, you could have burned through some key moments on a shoot that you can't go back to. You know, this is forever gone.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Yeah. So now, if you screw up, you might go a frame or two. Oh, I've messed up my settings. So that aspect, kind of getting away from that and going digital, there's so many people that can get into it, people that wouldn't normally be as maybe tech-minded. I guess it's, in a way, it's freed up a lot of like more creative people who maybe wouldn't have been able to deal with that tech aspect of it.
Right.
Can get into it. Just create a lot more competition, and just eliminate it. It's like just a big, massive chaos. But I mean, it's cool. I mean, I've got a lot of cool toys to work with at my disposal. I like it. From what I do, I don't have to deal with, I guess, the over competition aspect of it, because I don't market to. I market to like corporations and businesses. And they want to make sure when they hire somebody, they want to make sure it's somebody who knows what they're doing. They've done it for a while. You've got a body of, you know, experience and a portfolio, so they know what they're getting. I think on a more personal level, like for people hiring for portrait shoots, like family things, you know, they just get their cousin or their nephew or a friend with a camera, and they'll probably get a decent job. Yeah, you know, depending. There's a lot of really good amateurs out there. A lot of them are better than like professionals. They just do it for a hobby and for fun.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like my little niche. It's worked. I've got a pretty big network because I've worked with a lot of people. But yeah, it's I enjoy all the tech aspect of it, like having, you know, doing a lot of editing. I came from a journalism background, so in journalism it's a big no-no. You know, you don't want to over edit, you don't want to make changes, you know, you want the photo to be exactly how you captured it. And I think, so once I got out of the newspaper business, I kind of went a 180. I'm like, I wanted to do really extreme edits and compositing and like just like do all the things my hands were tied on.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed all that aspect of it, and I like the post-production and editing aspect of it. But yeah, it's really changed everything.
That's a cool way to like put it though, about how it like opens up for people to come in, but like the people who are, I feel like that's how it is with where technology's at anyway, is like it just allows people who could never do this before to do it, but there's still a place for like the people that are
the people that know what they're doing. They have more tools at their disposal, like you said.
But you have to be able to adapt. I think a lot of people, if they haven't been able to adapt to it, like if, you know, stop doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much the key to a lot of new technology. It eliminates a lot of avenues, but it opens up other ones.
I think that's just the key going forward, is people are just going to have to learn to adapt.
Learn to code.
Learn to code.
learn to program the robots that will replace you.
That's right.
Pretty much.
Until they learn to code.
Coding that should be the one thing they should like completely outlaw, is coding robots. Coding.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
There should be a point.
I was gonna ask, like, so with phone cameras, like those are getting kind of like ridiculous good.
They're amazing now. Like the camera in my phone is better than the first professional camera I had.
Oh my god.
The first digital camera we were using, it was made pretty much primarily just for photojournalists because they cost $16,000. They had a 1 megapixel sensor, which is nothing.
Yeah. There's
so much noise and grain on the images. But they were great because they allowed a newspaper photographer to go out, photograph some spot news, come back, and in less than an hour, it could be uploaded and used.
Yeah.
Whereas before you'd have to develop it, it really allowed for the speedy production. So you could take the hit on resolution, but you could get your images out really quick. But yeah, it's my camera on my phone so much better than that original pro, quote unquote pro camera I had. And it's just, I think there's what is there, like something like a 5-year lag behind, like your phones are just only like 4 or 5 years behind like the best desktop computer there was like 5 years ago. And like I think phone technology is actually pushing like just regular camera technology also. So they kind of go hand in hand.
It's nuts how much you can fit in your phone. Like, it's really weird when you think about what your phone does.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see the photo somebody did of all the things it's replaced? Someone did a photo.
Really?
They put all the things your smartphone replaced in, like, and it was like, calculator, like a leveling device, a phone. It covers like an entire like floor. Yeah. It's pretty amazing, all the things.
I'll have to find it.
And that's, I mean, honestly, that was just the basic stuff. That could go on for infinity because there's so many specific
little tiny
apps that are being invented that you never even thought would have come about.
I just downloaded like an investing one, and it's just like people who wanted to invest like 30 years ago. I'm sure it was like terrifying. Now they have, and since I downloaded one, I get ads for everything. But there was one where it's like every time you make a purchase, it just takes your spare change. So if you spent like $1.89. It put the 11 cents towards investments.
Like
that's awesome.
Robinhood or some shit like that.
That was Acorn, I think.
Acorn.
And Robinhood's another one.
Yeah.
And like, so like investing is just so, I feel like a lot of people are investing, these days because it's so easy to, whereas like you had to like study the stock market back in the day, it's like.
You couldn't do it. You had to go find a
broker.
Like a broker. You couldn't just do it online.
Yeah.
I guess it went from websites, now it's on apps.
It's crazy. Like, just how many jobs are being replaced with technology. Like, I was going to talk about that too, like, from the phone thing with the cameras. So, like, if AI keeps progressing, do you have a fear that, like, the photos will be self-correcting? Like, it'll just be kind of aesthetic from just, like, an amateur level shot?
Not so much that, but I think eventually it'll happen, like, AI happens and then, programming creativity.
Yeah.
You could have, bots doing a lot of stuff. But a lot of what I do is direction also. Like on a band shoot, I might be giving you guys direction.
Yeah, right.
And, that, I don't see that being, you never say never with something like that, but,
really far down the line.
But I think I'm probably okay with it. I don't know about like the next few generations down, but like I say, I've made sure to kind of carve a niche that's not really has that competition with a lot of stuff like that. But I mean, I think it's great. I don't hold a grudge against any technology for making things more competitive.
I will say you definitely do have your own style when it comes to your photography. Like, I can look at one of your photos and be like, oh yeah, that's a William Colgin photo.
Oh, that's cool.
But we always talk about, like, with AI replacing things, creative fields probably will be the last to go.
I think so, yeah. But I think eventually, like, maybe not photography because you got to go out in the field, but I think graphic artists will eventually not even be safe.
Yeah.
And some of that, the competition with that is I think the internet has made a lot more competition happen with creative fields because you can do you can have satellite satellite creatives in like India and China that are working for nothing.
Yeah.
And you can have them do
that's aggravating in the coding field because like there's a lot of like freelancing websites out there.
It's code. It doesn't take any to no mailing, no shipping. They do it and they send it down the pipe.
Mm-hmm. They will literally do a whole website for like $50 in India. It's insane.
It makes you wonder if like so apparently I guess in America we're technically like even if you're not rich, you're like the 1% of
Yeah,
the world,
for
right?
sure.
So what happens when everything starts equalizing?
Yeah. Well, it's just like with I don't know if he's done it yet. I don't think so. But Elon Musk was talking about launching satellites, and it'd give internet to the entire world.
Oh yeah, he started doing that.
He started, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
then
like-
everyone will be coding.
Once everybody, yeah,
You'll be
everybody's gonna start
competing with
coding.
like somebody in a small village.
They're competing
Yeah.
with like a child.
Yeah, and they're just like,
Yeah.
but yeah, and so like everybody getting internet, and then I think like as AI keeps, evolving, that building things will become like 3D printing and stuff, and so I do think that at some point, if the wealthy countries really do want to help out the smaller countries, like it'd be really easy and cheap to go over and build like
Yeah.
sustainable water or food, and like who knows like where it's going to go. So if I don't know if it would make the world a utopia, like everybody being okay, or
No, we'd figure out some way of fucking it up.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I just mean like if there is competition everywhere, because like right now technically we're only in competition with couple maybe 1 bill.
But like China's a sleeping giant that's waking up, so
Yeah, they're getting a lot more open to the world with things.
yeah. I saw can't remember who it was, but there was a band, and they this is an AI, but just creatives marketing outside. So they hired I think they looked on, there's some website or some company that basically you can find creatives in another part of the world, like India or China. So this band basically paid, I think, $100 to hire an Indian company or Indian creatives to do their music video. So they got, and it was a pretty cool video for like
Yeah.
$100. Like professional quality. It didn't have the band in it. It was like, in an
Yeah.
Indian village, but and just the fact that they did that got so much attention for the band.
True.
So get an Indian
That
company to do your
Indian
video.
company.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah,
We need
cool.
Ketzel looking up all the research
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah, Cody's
We don't
at
have a
work.
young Cody today.
Yeah, we're filming really early in the
Oh,
morning.
it died,
so-
didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
R.I.P.
But yeah, there's so much. Eventually, I think some AI does come to pass, and some creative fields will definitely, because imagine an AI computer doing like you need a logo done. It could make like 100
Yes.
really different iterations in half a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And like that, graphic artist, boom,
Yep.
out of a job.
Which sucks because like it's cool to have that human touch, but especially like in a band, you got to be cost effective. Because
But with
Yeah.
AI, you could
And
program
it's all
a
about timing too.
human
Yeah.
touch.
yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like it's just nice to think of. It goes back to you want to support other creative people, but if you could upload an idea to this website and for $5 get 100 different iterations of a logo rather than paying a graphic
Yeah.
artist $100 for that
That-
one and maybe a couple tweaks on it.
Yeah, that and the turnaround time is like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough,
I mean, you're forced to go with it. I mean, you can afford to be philanthropic when you're, when you've made it and you're making the
Right.
big bucks. That's when you can afford it. But 99% of the people that are really in a tight budget, they're kind of forced to go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think everybody, like I said, I feel like everybody would want to support, a person doing that stuff.
A human.
But it's tough.
But hey, you
Yeah.
gotta support the robots too. They're
Yeah, that's right.
they're people
They
too.
have
right?
feelings, yeah.
They got families.
They got that emotion chip.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Man.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Detroit.
Yeah. Such a good game.
Have you played that yet?
what?
Detroit.
Become Human.
Mm-mm.
It's good.
It's like a Quantic Dreams game.
No.
And it's about, just like AI and the choices you make.
Them kind of coming like sentient and like having feelings and emotions and wanting equal rights and stuff.
That's another thing. I think AI is a bad idea. it's just going to be a mess when it happens. But I think if you wanted to stop AI from happening, I think all you would have to do is preemptively give AI rights. Like if lawmakers went and said, all right, if an AI is created, they instantly have all the rights of a person. I think that might possibly stop production on AI. Because imagine a company spending all these billions of dollars developing something that if it actually comes to fruition, oh, okay, now when we have to pay you to do this job now.
Yeah.
And how do you get paid if you're doing the job of like, say, 1,000 accountants, you know, in 1 second over like thousands of hours? Do we have to pay you that scale? Like,
Right.
like imagine that if like they pass laws that you've got to, you know, pay AI, give them rights. Like, does that make it now economically not feasible to have an AI if you have to treat them
But
humanely?
everything would still be much faster.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, you know.
But like,
pros
imagine,
versus
are you getting
cons.
paid by the work or by the hour? With an AI, I would think you would get paid by the work.
Yeah.
Interesting to think about.
It sucks because, like, I don't think that we'll stop AI, and I think it will get to the point of, I mean, it's just, we're too far gone now.
And I think it's countries like, you can't, if you think another country's doing it, because it could be weaponized and used in cyber battles.
For sure.
So you can't really afford, if you think the Russians are coming up with one, you've kind of got
Right.
kind of got it.
And I'm sure military purposes have, you know, they've been doing this already for years.
Yeah. So I think that, you know, it's just, the smart thing would be, I think, as people don't think about it because it is in the future, but I really don't think it'll be too far. I mean, I could see the singularity happening within the next 50 years, you know? And so I think that the big thing that should be happening is discussing, like, plans and implementing it correctly and safely. But it's just, I don't feel like it's going to happen until it's, like, too close to that point. And you're like, oh shit, this is happening. It's like global warming, you know? Like, they've been talking about it for 50 years, and now they're like, oh, hey, this is a thing. Like,
I would think they would have to have, like, if AI does happen, they would have to have it on a non-networked closed system. Like, because you can't have something like that
to the internet.
Yeah. I don't think, like, you see a lot of movies where like the AI gets in the internet and clones itself across the internet. I don't know if that would be possible, because I imagine like it would have to be self-contained, like the computing power you need. It would have to have a dedicated hardware.
right.
But having access and controlling, like being able to connect to the internet, that would be bad, because so many things are connected. Like, you know, hackers can take down traffic light grids and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary. I just rewatched War Games not too long ago, like a couple weeks ago. I completely forgot about it. It popped up on Amazon, and I watched it. And I forgot how it started. Basically, it started, they gave, they had the bright idea to give, I think some humans didn't launch missiles in time. They had some sort of test. Humans didn't launch missiles, and the humans figured it was a mistake, and they were right, but they didn't launch the missiles, and so they put in some sort of automated systems that would obey an order even if it was wrong. And that's how, and then eventually the computer started playing war games, and it had access to all the
Dang, I'll have to check that out.
the
Sounds
missile
cool.
bays. But yeah, you don't want an AI to be able to be in charge of launching missiles or running power grids or anything like that.
Maybe it'd be better than humans.
Less biased.
I think that, man, it's so tough because AI could go such a good way. You know, it's like we talk about how they could come up with, if they had access to the internet and could literally read every document on something and then make a smart decision based off of like law, creating laws, or
that
like
would happen too. But it's like Murphy's law. It's like anything that can happen will. So if you have a system where, and you don't put checks and balances in it to where, you know, something could go horribly wrong. I mean, that will happen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's like, and you can't take if they could do that, then they could do this bad thing too. So for sure.
You just definitely gotta overthink the bad things and put a lot of, stopgaps in there.
Yeah. And that's what I think that they should be starting that now. I mean, I think it's going to take, 25 years to come up with a good way to prevent it. And by that time, then we could be like, okay, now we have these plans in place. Let's launch this slowly. And because, AI is just getting crazy. But what pisses me off is like my talk to text on my phone is still kind of shitty. It's like, come on.
Get it together.
They need to come out with user bots to where you could have a tray bot and it would it would correspond to all your texts the way you would, so you don't have to bother with it.
Yeah, it's like it should learn how you talk, like through your text, upload all your text.
And then maybe if it gave you something it didn't really understand, like it give you an alert, like how should I answer this?
Right.
But all like the typical stuff, someone sends you a meme, it's like it can note it. Lol, yeah.
Yeah. And then they like text you, like, hey,
somebody's
man,
gonna hear
meme?
this and run with it and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I want a bot that tells people happy birthday on Facebook, because that's just.
Yeah. I usually.
I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, I feel that. And then like what'll happen is I'll see it and I'm like, oh, I should tell my friend happy birthday, and then I don't. I'm like,
I won't, just because it's like a stupid Facebook thing.
Yeah. True. Sometimes I'll look and see that they have a birthday coming up like a couple days before, and then I'll text them so they think that I'm a better friend and know that it's their actual birthday.
Friend.
You're like, hey, I knew your birthday was coming along. I haven't even got on Facebook yet.
Yeah.
So.
It's a weird social thing, like the Facebook has made. Like,
it's weird how you think of how that stuff's influenced our life so much, and like just who people are now.
A few years, yeah.
Yeah. How long has Facebook like overtaken MySpace? When did we really start?
2011.
And it was pretty.
Well, I would say 2008 was still MySpacey. Yeah. I don't mean like when Facebook launched. I mean,
okay, when like MySpace died.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like when I really transitioned to Facebook.
About 2010, 2011.
Yeah, man, I remember sitting at my computer and I was talking to somebody. I was like, I will never use Facebook. Like I am.
And then everybody left MySpace.
Yeah,
it's so ubiquitous.
There's no one to talk to.
I mean, you use it to log into other. It's basically a password program.
Yeah, it is. It's everything. Facebook is everything.
We got Messenger. I use my Messenger more than I use text.
Text, yeah. Sometimes you don't even have to get phone numbers from people because you can just
call
hit
them
up
on Facebook.
on yeah, you can call them.
I don't
on
even
Facebook.
have William's phone number. I call him on Facebook.
Do y'all remember a time where you had to remember numbers, or was it all?
I still try to remember a couple numbers, but
I don't know how I did back. I can't.
Yeah, so
I remember being a kid and remembering my friends' numbers.
Yeah, you'd have to do it for like their landlines and stuff. Because we were from a really small town, so like it was just landlines. But luckily, all the it was 876 for everything. You just had to remember the last four numbers.
So think about this. Think about just what digitalization has done for your memorization and thought process. Imagine if AI comes to pass. What?
Do you think that?
I don't think it's really like made us less able to remember things. I think it's just like, oh, that was kind of just junk, and we freed up space for other things.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, do you think that it frees us up to remember other things?
It's almost like an extension of your own. Like basically, half of our memory and knowledge is in the cloud now.
Oh yeah, we're basically cyborgs at this point.
But like I said, like I feel like it's good to. Well, I don't know, man. That's tough because even like with music. And we tab everything out. We write the song, and then we tab it out. And then if you ever forget the song, you just go back and look. Whereas, like, back in the day, if they wrote a song and they forgot how to play it, they have to go back and listen to it and, like, learn how to like that. Now it's just super easy.
I'm pretty sure people tabbed it out back in the day, too. They just wrote it down.
By hand?
Yeah.
Fuck that. I don't even like tabbing it out on the computer. But, yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. I don't think that we're stupider. Or more stupid.
Actually, I cringe. They're like, oh, should I say it?
More stupidity. But stupider should be a fucking word. That's so not cool.
That's how words are made. People just decide, en masse to start using them.
Lol.
Yeah,
I remember the first time I actually said lol out loud. And I caught myself like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy.
It's just words.
And I'm sure for you,
it's just noises we make with our mouth.
I know. Fucking memes.
What is it on Thor? That's a made-up word. All words are made up.
True. So stupider is a word. But I'm sure for you remember the transition a lot more, but it's just crazy to think of like even 2000 and just when the internet was first coming out.
Yeah.
AOL, AIM, and like
fucking instant messenger.
Yeah.
I remember my first chat room. I think it was it AOL chat room? I don't remember, but I remember when chat rooms were a thing, and I was, I guess, maybe one of the first trolls. I remember I was like, oh, I could just totally mess with people. I remember going in there and annoying the piss out of everybody till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Nice. I think I was like 8 or 9, and I was on, screen name was Silver Swain on AOL.
That was you?
And I met this like girl, and she was like, she was a girl.
Of course she was a girl.
Okay, I was a child, so she was definitely a girl. And I remember
she was a pedophile.
No, it was a little girl.
That was an old man.
I remember like
trying to catfish you.
I gave her my phone number to my house.
Oh.
The old landline, and she called the house, and I freaked the fuck out because I was like, my mom's gonna find out, But it's just, it's just funny because like we are in the future, and you forget it, and that's what I mean. Like things will transition, and you're not even gonna recognize until you look back, and you're like, holy shit.
No, you're just kind of used to how things are now.
I mean, think about how really actually magical what we have is. Imagine being a kid and dreaming of the stuff we have now.
Oh, yeah.
And we just it's just totally a part of our lives now. We completely take it for granted. And if you lose it, then like seeing a video of a kid where they take a smartphone away, and then you realize how dependent. That's some scary stuff.
Dude, my phone was dead for like a few hours the other day.
Had withdrawals.
And I kept checking it. Like I knew it was dead, and I kept pulling it out of my pocket trying to turn it on.
Sad habit, yeah.
And it's just like, man, I can't really remember a time in my life where I didn't have like a convenient cell phone like at the palm of my,
I remember the first time I saw somebody on a cell phone. I was in like the DMV in Fort Lauderdale, and there was some lady on. It was one of those big brick phones. It was before the little blue Nokias. And I just remember thinking, nerveless lady,
huge fucking battery.
Who does she think she is? How is she so important that she has to bring her phone with you everywhere she goes? I remember being incensed about it. It's like who is this chick? And now everybody,
kids.
Yep.
Oh.
Does Hoyt have a cell phone?
No. They have. So my niece has like a little watch that she can text her mom with and stuff. And then, but the kids have iPads, Nintendo Switch, and they know how to work the internet.
Yeah.
Like, they know how to work the internet, and it's crazy. Like,
they know how to work it better than you. I've got a friend, and her son, I think he's 9 or 10, and he reprogrammed her entire phone, her entire contact list, and everyone's got a different name and a different photo. And there's crazy photos in there. Awesome. So, when I called her the other day, she told me she wasn't sure if she should answer it because, I can't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, kids and technology, man. Like, it's wild. And, like I said, it's tough for me because sometimes I feel like they shouldn't have it, but I think the world's just going a different way, and just because we grew up a certain way doesn't mean that...
I think I just get irritated how kids use it.
Yeah.
You get irritated at everything kids do.
True.
Yeah. But
you're going to find the most annoying ways to use it.
Because, literally, they have what they need for any question that they might have.
Yeah.
They can learn anything.
They still ask stupid fucking questions.
And, I don't know.
But do you really want a kid to learn everything from the internet? Because there's so
there's a lot of
many horrible things.
Well, that's what, and the problem is, too, is the shit that they watch on there, man. And it's weird because there's a market.
I feel like as kids have this at their hands, they're able to look at anything. They've looked at porn, shit like that. So is it going to desensitize these kids later on in life having it all that?
It's going to be
we're
really
interesting. We're going to find out. It's a big sociological study going on right now.
Yeah, exactly. We're watching it because I do feel like they are it's going to be a lot harder for them to sit down and pursue something because instant gratification. YouTube, like, and they just will sit there and watch these 1 minute, 2 minute videos, you know, and then go on to the next, and then click off it, and they see a thumbnail on the side, which, you know, we do too, but it's different when you're, you know, 10 years old. And so yeah, I think that pursuing creative, it's funny because I think that creatives will last longer in AI, but pursuing creative, like, career will be harder for them because it's not going to be instant, you know, gratification. So
yeah, I feel like it's going to be tough for them to, like, have that grind. And
and that's, like, scary because that's all life really is. Like, everything's kind of a grind. But, and then that's what, so what I think is that they will have, those kids will grow up, and then there'll be a couple that do pursue that creative thing, and they'll realize that other people don't want to, so they'll develop AI so that you get that instant gratification in these things. And I think that's where, like, virtual reality comes in and stuff. So
yeah, in AR, augmented reality.
It's crazy because there's just so many good things and there's so many bad things.
You kind of see that with the current generation already, like with the instant gratification and, like, if you've ever worked with, like, a younger kid, like at your job or whatever, like, typically they're lazy and, like, you know, they feel like they're owed something.
Yeah.
Well, everyone takes the path of least resistance. It's just up to, like, the ones in charge and training them to, like, you know, to kick their ass.
Yeah.
Harden them up a little bit.
And I think it's a slippery slope because think of all the times that they said that about our generation and how millennials are lazy and that's why it's so hard for me because, you know, we had the internet where, I mean, that was really only like 7 years ago, the whole, like, millennials don't do anything and just want their trophies and stuff. Yeah. You know, so I try to be very careful when I talk about the next generation being worse than our generation because I feel like that's what literally every generation does.
Yeah, so I think we're all going to have that kind of bias, but
there's just differences.
Except for Gen X. That was
I do feel like our generation has a good entrepreneur mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I feel like, you know, they're more willing to take that leap. But then, like you said, once they get in the shit, they're probably not going to stick it out. Yeah. So I feel like, you know, our generation is good for that. Like, we can definitely start a project and we have these big goals and ambitions, but the grind
still putting in the work is tough. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, everything I've heard is, like, you know, hardships make stronger people. So, like, I guess the greatest generation, I guess they call it that because they came from, like, you know, world wars and depressions and that made them really hard and resilient, and, you know,
that also gave our country, like, a big, like, boost of confidence too.
But imagine, like, a generation growing up where you not just eventually you get it, but, like, you grow up and you have just everything at your fingertips. That's not gonna make you into a strong person.
It's like you said, it's a social experiment going on right in front of our eyes and seeing where these kids will go. But the thing is they have to adapt, you know, so either they'll develop stuff to where how they are is okay, and then that's where the world will go.
I think the market will respond however it needs to.
It has to
giving you stuff instantly. So, like, you know, and I think that there's certain ways that it could be a good thing. It's like people don't want to work for $7.25, so they make the minimum wage $15. You know, or whatever they're talking about.
Universal basic income.
UBI, and, you know, 30 years or something.
Yeah, I mean, with automation, you wonder, like, is it going to have all that? Universal basic income?
Yeah.
But then would that be everybody is just the same level of poverty at that point?
Pretty much.
And then it's up to you to...
You're still going to have to, like, the people that really know how to hustle and struggle will rise above in some way.
Yeah, and then we're just back to where we're at now. You know, when you think about it, it's like you have this... Everybody's, and then that will just be poverty will just be normal. People who are kind of surviving, you know. Well, at least they could have homes or something. But I think that with, like, 3D printing, and as that gets better, it'll be really interesting to see.
Probably cheaper to build and make things.
Homes and
scary when they develop a 3D printer that can make a 3D printer. Then that's when shit gets real.
I think it's possible already.
I don't
I'm
think
sure,
so.
but
Those things are really
yeah, that's true.
specific and finicky.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as 3D printing becomes faster, like imagine just being able to build a house in a day, and then that becomes so much faster that you can build a house in
I've seen
an hour.
That. They have like that
Yeah, where
the concrete printer and it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just imagine that being able to do that in like a day, and these skyscrapers being. I think that's the most terrifying thing to me is watching the world change so fast that you don't get that transition where it doesn't feel like things are changing. It's like it's happening right in front of you, and you're like, "The fuck do I do?"
Things are moving really fast.
Yeah,
like,
it's only gonna get
insane.
faster like as technology gets better.
If AI happens and the discoveries that machine intelligence can make would possibly push things even faster.
Yeah, and like as they, like, oh here you can do this, and they'll make this faster, and then that just keeps going.
One of the things they've talked about, one of the ideas they've thrown around is that with quantum computing and AI together, like the computers will be able to communicate with another computer, possibly in another dimension.
Oh, like entanglement kind of stuff.
Yeah,
That'd be dope. I would love to learn other dimensions are real, like proof. I definitely think that there are, but I can't say there are. It's just like I think that extraterrestrial life exists, but I can't say for sure.
Yeah. Well, when they storm Area 51 and everyone dies.
Oh man.
I can't wait for that day to actually happen.
What is it? September?
Yeah.
See what actually happens on that day.
It's just, man, it's such
it's
an
really funny
internet
how memes,
thing.
yeah.
It's a meme, and like, but I really feel like there's gonna be
somebody's gonna be out there.
I really feel like a couple people are gonna show up, and that's just
I died. One of my friends, he's a local musician around here, and he posted a thing. He was like, anyone who's ever been in a band knows there's only gonna be like 12 people to show up to Area 51.
Bro, we gotta do something for that day, like release some kind of video.
Write a song
for like the anthem or something.
Or just do the video theme for it. Yeah. But dude, an anthem would be amazing.
Yeah. Like just super alien-y, and that would be cool.
Man. It's crazy how memes have kind of like become like the main communication.
New way of communicating.
It is, yeah.
So, graphic artists I work with, there was a period of time where instead of emailing me, I need this Photoshop work done, we would communicate with memes. Like for like a request, we would use the was it Tyrone Biggums was scratching his neck? Is that
the Dave Chappelle thing?
Yeah, we would use that one to request something. Hey, you got any more of those Photoshops? And then like we would go back and forth. We were speaking just with memes for a while, and it worked.
It's so weird, like,
and they're great
because they started using memes in advertising.
Yeah,
it's like it's just become this thing where like it's crossed like language barriers and like.
Communicate with somebody in a completely different country, different language.
Yeah.
Man, I can't remember what I was listening to, but they talked about how, like, we communicate in pictures and stuff, and that's
symbols,
symbols, which is like,
basically back to hieroglyphs. I think that was a meme too.
Yeah, and it's like we're just communicating.
I think that was a TED talk. I think it was. Yeah. That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's just so wild to think about. Like everything does come full circle, and in a weird sense,
just slightly changed.
It's kind of 1984ish in a way, because like they had the Newspeak where every year their dictionary got lower and lower, like their vocabulary got narrow and narrower, and that was kind of like a way of controlling.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to think about like that. We're kind of going that way with memes. It's like in the way we're like text.
Yeah.
Like text speech. Text speech is like, basically anagrams, but we've made it so short. And
right.
What happens when our meme vocabulary exceeds our standard
actual
use?
vocabulary?
Yeah. Now, maybe not dictionary, because the dictionary is huge, but we probably only use, we only use like 500 words.
That's the point that humans have succeeded in becoming the greatest species.
Yeah. No, I think we, on average, like, we use about 2,000 different words a day.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because
But if you tag cloud it, it'd probably be like way fewer.
Yeah. When you learn a language, they say like once you learn 2,000 words, you're pretty
fluent.
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
You can hold a conversation with us.
Pretty well.
That seems like actually a reasonable number to learn it. That makes actually, thinking about it that way, makes it seem like learning a language is a lot less daunting. I can do that, like, I don't know, 5 words a day.
Man, I tried learning French, and If I would have kept up with it, it'd be better.
It's just
But
something
it's
you need
hard
to
when you like don't have people to talk to and stuff.
I need to learn Korean because I've got people to talk to. Well,
Oh, yeah.
people to listen to.
let's do it. Go into it.
Let's talk about K-pop, William. Like, you have a really big obsession with K-pop.
Oh, I'm totally obsession with K-pop.
So, like, why K-pop out of any other genre? Is it just because it's so happy sounding?
I think it's so happy, and it like hit me during a very depressive period. I just needed something happy. Like literally for like the past maybe 6 or 7 months, maybe longer, I haven't been able to listen to any of my old music. And I grew up on like alternative and goth and like, you know, rock and metal and, you know, a lot more harder stuff. And I don't know, K-pop, like I never liked pop music, but
Yeah,
K-pop
but
just hit at the
stands
right
out.
time, and like that's all I've been able to listen to,
Yeah.
like just for mental health. But yeah, I've got a huge like listen to it, watch K-pop videos.
You ever look up the lyrics?
I do. I put the closed
Yeah.
captioning on, watch videos of lyrics, so it's
Yeah.
only a matter of time before I learn the language just through
Just because you're listening to it, yeah.
But I love K-pop.
Yeah,
I wonder
it's
if you
really
like.
cool.
I wonder if you like get drunk one night, you'll just start speaking Korean. There are some people like that. Like, that kind of just seeps into like the back of their mind, and it comes out.
That would be amazing.
I
I would love that.
had a buddy that I worked with, and he's like half Mexican, half Hispanic. Well, when he was a kid, he spent a lot of time with his
Is
family.
that the same thing?
Huh?
He's half Mexican and half Hispanic.
Or whatever. I
Isn't that all Hispanic?
I don't know if he was half Mexican or not, so I'm trying to correct.
Okay. I see.
But he spent a lot of time like with his family when he was a kid in Mexico or wherever it was, and like when he was a kid, he was able to speak to them. Well, he grew up here, and he kind of like didn't use it anymore. And then he went back. He said when he was like in his 20s and was like partying and got really drunk and started
speaking
it again.
Well, I know. So I grew up in Hawaii for quite a few years, and in Hawaii there's a dialect. It's Pidgin.
Pigeon?
Pidgin. It's called Pidgin, and it's
Like
just
the bird?
It's yeah.
Okay.
It's like English, but it's like just the accent, the dialect. I can't even do it right now. You can pull like a YouTube link up and hear what it sounds like. But so I probably grew up there around like for 3 years, around I want to say 8, 9, and 10. Anyway, so I went back on my honeymoon, probably like 2 decades later, and it was really weird because like I didn't really notice it, but my wife at the time, she was like, "Why are you speaking like that?" I started picking up the Pidgin dialect, and I was speaking like that, and like I didn't even notice.
It's wild.
It's funny.
It's just like accents, though.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that you have it.
Well, I think also like as humans we want to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like, for instance, if we were just constantly surrounded by people that talk like this,
Yeah, you do.
it'd catch on.
Yeah.
I'll do that like if like somebody with a strong accent, especially like an English accent. I've caught myself like
Yeah.
almost mimicking it, and I always have to tell them like I'm not mocking you. It's like I can't help it. Like
Yeah.
I'll just try.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, and I do that like because I hang around Chris Escobar so much. Like I noticed like so much shit that I took from him. I'm like, this is so stupid. Why do I talk like this?
I think it's just natural.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's like you said,
you and
just
your
wanna
friends
fit
just
in.
start
Yeah,
talking like each other.
Yeah, you really do.
There's shit I say that I got from you all the time, and
Yeah, it just happens. Like you said, I think you just want to fit in, so you speak like that, which makes sense.
So
You don't want to look like an outsider.
yeah, you want to blend in. You don't want to be like an outsider. Yeah,
But it makes I always thought that like having TV should almost neutralize a lot of accents, because they have like the neutral Midwestern accent on almost everything. That has to have some effect on people. Maybe not like it's like say in the South, maybe watching TV makes them not develop such a thick accent.
yeah.
Like
well, I think
it seems that would unify some
little
sort of
bit,
language. I don't know.
I think so, because I think there are some people like born and raised in the South that don't have accents.
Like I don't think I have a strong one, and I wonder if like growing up on Star Trek or just Midwestern sounding news, stop that. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah. Well,
Anything else to talk about, guys?
Oh, I'm done.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, thank you, William, for coming
Yeah.
Well, thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me, guys.
Appreciate you.
Looking forward to
Everybody-
hearing some new stuff.
Go to the link in the description. Go check out his photography, his website. Book him. I
Book
don't
him.
know. If you want photos done.
We never said where you're from, so
Oh, I'm on the coast. I'm right by Biloxi and Ocean Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I travel.
how he travels.
I think I came up here on a gig. Some band hired me.
Yeah.
Basically, we just paid you drinking money.
Yeah, gas money and drinking money. And
Yeah.
Worth it.
And our good time.
Yeah.
Worth it.
But cool.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Deuces.
Bye.
Fuck.
Fuck.